welcome to Universus. Today we're going to be looking over the design and development article that Mr. Stark dropped on Wednesday. It is a very cool, informative article that has been worded very articulately. It's very cool to hear from the design team and Mr. Stark how the cards go through this world translation from the IPs, from the worlds that they're in, but whether that be comic book, manga, fighting game, animated series, or anime, and how they go through this process of becoming cards, looking about who's important to the world, looking at what symbol identities these cards have and how we can best adapt their lore and create this more folk set which encapsulates the world that we are currently traveling through. It's also good to hear about the dedicated hours that the skilled and talented play testers put in to making sure that the cards are not too overpowered, that they're well balanced, and that the design team's love and affection for their cards is translated into the cards, and that we end up with a nice balanced set. It seems like a very complex problem that both the playtesters and the design team worked very hard to solve, and this article was very informative on making sure that we knew how that went down. Only issue with it is if you are not an established card gamer, if you are not established with this game or TCGs in general, it was very overwhelming, to use the term of phrase that I started using ironically, but I have just incorporated. The mental load of this article is intense. If you're coming in with no experience into card games, then it can be overwhelming. It doesn't really have any kind of engagement. It is just a lot of information thrown at you. From a literary point of view, it's missing a key literary tool of show, don't tell. This is where, for the narrative of the article, I think an example would have been much better. Seeing how a card went from the manga of Attack on Titan through the process of becoming a card in Battle for Humanity would have been very, very cool, and a great way for established and new players and people who are just interested in the game to see how these cards are made through an example. So let's take a look at Potato. The Potato Asset card is not a particularly powerful card. It's not a card or an aspect of Attack on Titan which was incredibly impactful into the show, but it was impactful into the community. It became a meme. It became how we, the community and the fan base, became endeared to Sasha. It has its own kind of mini architect within the Battle for Humanity, with Combo Potato would be a great example of how a card was designed with this world translation. Looking at the community responses, looking at what's important to the community from the manga and adapting it into the set, because it shows that UVS knew what the community were going to ask for months before Attack on Titan was even announced to the general public, and that is amazing. That is the kind of example that this article could have really thrived from. This article is such a good source of information and will hold the attention of established players and people who are interested in the nitty-gritty of the article, but it needed to be more entertaining. It needed to be more engaging to new players and Attack on Titan fans through the stories of cards, finding how Potato became a card, finding out how the Attack Titan was adapted, finding out what aspects of the manga, what aspects of the My Hero show, what aspects of the Dark Tournament. It's great to know the design team is engaging itself fully in IPs, reading, watching, immersing, getting to know the community and adapting it into cards. It's great to read that, but it would have been very cool and very informative to be shown an example, be told what was the reasoning behind these decisions. These are untold stories, and you have now presented this opportunity. You have told us that these stories exist. You have told us that there is a reason behind every single card that has been made. There is so much work that goes into every single card that is made, and those stories deserve to be told. The community should be made aware of how much hard work and how much puzzle solving the design team and the playtesters are doing to find out about what cards started out weaker than they are now, what cards got a lot of love and a lot of design and the design team were really hyped for and the playtesters completely broke. These are such good stories that the community would love to hear, and that would instill so much hype into new players, that this is an open invitation to any playtester and any design team member who wants to come and tell those stories, get UVS to contact me. I want to hear your stories. I want to find out about the cards you had so much fun designing, playing, changing. There is such an untapped well of information here. This article was the perfect opportunity to start that narrative, and it was missed. And it's so upsetting to see such a good article, which is so cleverly written, just missing that one aspect of engagement and getting people more hyped about the stories of these cards. I would love to hear these stories. I'd love to see how these cards came into fruition. Do you think the article was great as is? Do you think that the article needed an example, a narrative, a more literary storyline to fight so that we could go over how a card goes through this world translation and how it goes from that world translation to the pack? Let me know in the comments below, and it's great seeing you here. And if you're not subscribed, do please hit that button and be kept up to date onto everything that Universus is doing. I'll catch you all in a bit. Bye!